Bread making doesn't have to be hard. Today we are going to be making some challah bread. The recipe I'll be using for challah bread comes from Bonnie O'Hara's Bread Baking for Beginners. Here is everything you need listed out in grams, which provides a more accurate measurement. I use King Arthur unbleached all-purpose flour, which has a higher protein content that helps build up the gluten in bread. Here are all my ingredients. I'm ready to go. Having a digital scale also helps. Weigh out all of the ingredients before you begin so you can be ready. Combine the milk, eggs, honey, yeast, and vegetable oil in a large bowl using a whisk or a fork. Add the flour and salt on top of the wet ingredients and mix by hand, feeling that they're pretty well combined. It'll be pretty sticky. Go ahead and cover the dough with either a kitchen towel or plastic wrap and let it rest for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now comes the fun part. Working with some flour on your surface, turn out your dough. Knead the dough by pushing forward into the dough with the heels of your hands and then folding the dough back towards you. Give it a quarter turn, push the dough away again, and fold it back. Keep up with it until you can feel that it's tightened up, around 5 to 10 minutes. Add more flour if the dough becomes too sticky. Keep working at it. Make sure to take a cute little baby break too. The dough looks and feels pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and place it in a large bowl and cover it with plastic wrap. We'll let it rise for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. You'll see it start rising just a little bit. Line a baking sheet with some parchment paper. Divide the dough into 3 equal parts and then let them rest for about 20 minutes. After it's rested for 20 minutes, we'll start working on shaping our dough. Take each piece and roll it between your hands and your table into long, thick ropes, about 12 inches long. I've got a ruler there at the bottom. Place the 3 strands of dough vertically next to each other. It's time to braid our challah. There's different braids that you can do, but we'll go for simple and just do 3 strands. So arrange your strands all next to each other and press the 3 strands together at the top. Pick up the strand on the right and cross it over the center strand. That's now in the center. Then take the strand on the left and cross it over the center, and that now becomes the new center. Keep crossing each side over this new center until you run out of dough. Press the strands together at the bottom. I'm going to fix up the top. Where I started off, it's a little loose, so I'll go ahead and tighten that up. Here's what your challah should look like. Now we're going to take our prepared challah bread and transfer it to our parchment-lined baking sheet. Time to make our egg wash. Beat together the egg and water. Brush the dough lightly with the egg wash we just made using a pastry brush. Cover it completely. You can reserve any leftover for brushing our challah before we bake it. Cover the challah lightly with plastic wrap. We'll proof it for an hour and a half to 2 hours until it puffs up and looks light and airy. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Before putting your dough in the oven, brush it with the remaining egg wash. Bake it for around 35 to 45 minutes. The loaf will be ready when it's golden brown and will sound hollow when you thump it with your fingers. That looks pretty gorgeous. Go ahead and let it cool on a wire rack for at least 30 minutes just to let it set. I'm ready to eat. That looks pretty good if I do say so myself. I think even Paul Hollywood would agree. Thanks for joining us and happy baking.